Oh, there we go.
Did it start?
Yeah. Andrew, not McCoy, but
McEvoy. What's
McEvoy.
up, people?
McEvoy. So you just had COVID? Is that what
Yeah,
you were saying?
just got over it about a week ago.
How was that?
Sucked. Could have been a lot worse. I mean, I got the jab, and I didn't get like hospitalized or anything.
Oh, you didn't go have a
No,
tube stuffed down your throat
no,
or nothing.
thank God. But the coughing fits were the fucking worst.
Was it the kind of cough where you almost puke a little bit? You're
Well,
almost
like,
choking.
well, it's like this. Like, I wouldn't have if I wouldn't have went and gotten tested. Like, I wouldn't have even like figured I had COVID. I thought like when I went for certain, I was gonna like test negative because like I thought I just had like a head cold or like a sinus infection or something. But I wanted to make sure because like I didn't want to go into work like coughing my guts up and people being like, "Oh my God, is this guy sick?" Like so.
Yeah, I was coughing in the break room the other day and I tried to hold my breath. I'm like, you can't cough anymore.
I know that's the thing I hate. Like it's just you go into a grocery store nowadays and it's just like, oh, should I cough now? Like you know.
So it wasn't that bad in particular.
No, it wasn't like it sucked. Like none of it's good. Like, the worst part about it is that like you're supposed to stay in your house, like you're on like what they did with the lockdown, like you got to quarantine for like 10 to 14 days. Can't even go get a gallon of milk down the street at the store if you want to, it's just like
Well, who's gonna know?
yeah, it's a fucking mess cuz it's like but at the same time like I don't want to be somebody responsible for getting somebody else sick.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm just wondering how it works because people talk about this lockdown and I never saw it. Like I don't know what they mean when they say that. They're just saying when it first happened, they're telling people to chill.
you mean like when the pandemic first started?
Yeah, I don't remember there being any lockdown.
Wow, that's like all you heard about. People all over, like, you probably don't watch the news or anything, do
No,
you?
nothing.
Yeah. Well, good for you because I live with my grandparents and they're all big on,
Oh,
like,
grandparents are like that,
yeah,
man.
that's the thing. Last year, that's all I ever fucking heard. So once, like, the, like, 5, 6 o'clock dinner time news thing came on, I'm like, up in my room, headphones on. I'm like, I don't want to hear it.
That's how I. Well, I mean, that's half why I deleted Facebook. It's just too much nonsense.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't need to know about it.
actually, it was like, at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like I actually went through a period. It might have been like 2, 3 months or something where I didn't use Facebook. I was like, shit's gonna hit the fan. People aren't gonna shut up. It's like I just want to be
Yeah,
off this.
it gets to be, and
And
that's
especially after like the George Floyd case and the Black Lives Matter and all that. And
it's a lot of noise. Could be in
yeah,
your head, a lot of noise.
especially I think it was right after that happened that it was just like I was like I can't take this right now. I was like I need to go away for a little bit.
Yeah, because I remember, I think I was still on it when this stuff first happened, and that's how I basically heard of it because I don't pay attention to
Oh,
anything.
oh, that's a
And I
cool.
was on there, and people were like talking about,
Got a little pistol glass there.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I love guns, man, pistols and shit. Oh, I have a
You ain't the
nine.
only
I have a
one.
9 millimeter.
I got tons of gun friends.
Yeah, I
I
don't
got some
have that
guns
many
myself.
guns, honestly. I just like, I have a lot of, like you said, friends that have tons of guns, and they let me shoot them.
Yeah, well, see, I kind of like was my dad was never a huge like gun guy, so I mean, I didn't get it from him. My grandfather though, he was a Marine back during the Cold War in the
Oh yeah,
in the 1950s. So yeah, basically I grew up around guns being over
from
there.
him.
Yeah, and he's
That's
he's
that's
got
where.
like he's got like a whole armory. Like I mean, but it's interesting because like he doesn't like he's like an old school Democrat. Like he's very like classic like I don't know if you want to say like liberal or like but like He's definitely like old
he's
school.
he's not crazy. Like back in the day, people more got along
Yeah,
regardless of whether they were.
he's like more like the like Harry Truman, like FDR kind of Democrat from like the 40s and 50s. So he's not all like open carry and shit, like, out when he leaves the house or anything, but he's all about like, home defense, like be ready to protect your home
Yeah, he's
if
not
you
rocking
need
his
to.
gun at the grocery
Yeah,
store and
yeah,
shit.
which I mean, like, I got friends who like they like conceal carry, like they keep it out of the open, which that I can understand.
I can do that. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
But
I don't either, but
I got the
I wouldn't
card.
mind doing it. I
I
mean,
got the card and everything.
the way things are now and shit, it's not necessarily a bad idea.
No, I don't think it's ever been a bad idea. I mean, I feel real comfortable. There was a point in time
Yeah.
for a couple of days where I wore the thing in the house, and I felt real nice and cozy with that gun on me. So I get it.
Yeah.
I don't need it though. If someone did break in, because I have a clip of hollow points for that reason, I'd be too chicken shit
Yeah.
probably to take a shot anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like most of the friends that I have that like conceal carry, and all that. It's like they're mostly they're military guys, like Army, Marines, and stuff, and
Yeah.
like they're trained with that kind of
Yeah,
shit.
they're not. Yeah, I see where you're
Whereas,
going.
like, with guys like regular guys like you and I, like we're just civilians, so it's like I'm not really like one to jump and be like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna leave a loaded gun on my desk because like chances are I'm gonna be the one that
You drop it or
yeah, or
something.
like shoot myself in the ass while it's in my pocket, like
Yeah, I mean, I have it. I keep it in my sock drawer. I don't know if just because I feel badass like that, I'm not gonna fucking use it. I'll
yeah.
use it like out.
I mean,
I
it's
go out in
good.
the woods usually to shoot guns off because the
It's good to have because like you never know. Sometimes I think like maybe I should go get some training and feel more comfortable using it.
yeah, I never do though. I never use it. When I first bought the gun, I took it out a lot to the range, but that gets too pricey, so I just shoot trees and shit.
Yeah, well that's the issue too is that like
It's an expensive hobby.
yeah, just like pretty much everything's an expensive hobby now.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Especially the fucking
I mean
records.
anything, cars, guns, guitars, like
You collect records, right?
yeah, oh yeah, and records, yeah.
Have you been to any shows recently? Because I went to a 3 day music festival in Alabama. Speaking of
Oh
people
really?
rocking guns at the store,
Oh yeah.
everyone at the store had a pistol
Down
on them.
south,
Yeah,
yeah. That's just that's just
it's
business
a
down there.
lifestyle they have. But no, I went to a 3 day music festival, man. It was Turnstile and Knocked Loose were there,
Oh, I think I heard
and
about that.
a Furnace Fest. It was
You
called.
didn't post that on Facebook, did you?
No, I don't.
Oh.
See, I got a Facebook again, and it was for a specific reason, and it was not for me to. The shit, it almost makes me sad when I'm on it. It's just a bunch of random nonsense. I go into this all the time.
Yeah.
I'll,
No, I need to.
People are sick of hearing about it, but
I try to. I try to stay off of Facebook too much, but it doesn't exactly happen.
like
It's a bad addiction for
it's a fidget. It's like a
younger
fidget spinner.
people.
Remember those? To me, it's like something to
Yeah.
fidget with. I bought like 10 of them fidget spinners, and
Was that like the finger thing that went around like the?
yeah, you like spun it. It was like a little.
Yeah.
It had three little things, and you'd spin it around, and that's all you did with it. I don't know what the point was. Obviously, to fidget.
I mean, for kids, yeah, kids find the littlest things,
But you haven't seen any.
fun.
You haven't been to any shows. I didn't know if they were still having them.
Yeah, I mean, not too many actually coming up here this month. There's actually more shows that I want to go to, like generally hardcore shows.
Yeah, I saw. Oh man, it was so many bands. I can't. It was like
Like this Friday, there's a show in Mechanicsburg. It's do you remember the band a New York punk band from the '80s called Antidote?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're playing this Friday, and
Got a record of theirs right
yeah,
here
in Mechanicsburg, the Thou Shall Not Kill EP.
with the cow with
Yeah,
the axe.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
I
that
think
shit's
that's the one I
legendary.
got, man. Not the fucking. I have to make sure.
Where's your minor threat?
Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's not
Oh,
that one. It's
it's
not
one of
that
the
album.
LPs. I see you got Pennywise there. I got one of my friends. That's like one of his favorite punk bands.
Yeah, they. It for me, it's like what album? This one's my favorite album, Unknown Road. But then they've got some that I'm not too big into. But yeah, Pennywise, yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard? How do you feel about Bad Religion's like new shit?
I haven't heard it. To be
Yeah, I
honest
mean,
with
like
you.
I listened to Bad Religion for years, but like I feel like their last recent like 2, 3 albums just kind of suck. I feel like they're one of those bands that like had a real good run of like good ideas, and then they just
It's like
stopped. You
you
know?
guys had a good run. Knock it off. You know, like
Yeah,
fucking like Motley Crue. It's like, come on, guys, chill the
yeah.
fuck out. No one likes you anymore. And there's a lot of bands like that, to be honest with you.
Well, that's like you had all the hair metal like glam bands in the '80s who like once the '90s came around, they found out, oh shit, well to be relevant, we got to try to do some like stupid grunge album that we know nothing about,
Yep,
and it
yep.
just like
Or there were all those kick-ass like metal or hardcore bands, and then in the '90s, they're like, oh, we better try this new metal sound. Add some
oh
like
god, yeah.
add some like thump to some bass to the drums, and and they all sucked when they tried to do that. Earth Crisis did that.
I forget what the name of the album is. It's a weird name, but I know what was that album that Slayer did that was kind of like
Yeah, they
new
did.
metal-ish.
Slayer did it too.
Do you remember what that's called?
Was it God Hates Us All?
No, that was a newer one. It's so
No, yeah, I don't think it was that one either.
I'd have to
I
Google
know
it.
what you're talking about, and it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Obviously, Metallica tried that shit.
Well, I don't know.
What
See,
was that?
I actually. Oh yeah.
Saint Anger.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Well, that's
like,
the album everybody
I
hates.
never heard the whole album. I threw it out the car window. I'm like, I don't need to know anymore.
I've heard some crazy stories about what people did to that CD when they first bought it, like throwing it in the toilet at the mall or some shit, and like
It was awful, man.
throwing it in their fireplace.
These are the guys that dropped fucking Master of Puppets and Injustice for All,
Yeah.
and now they're putting out that garbage. But the Black Album was the first metal album I ever owned. Metallica's Black Album.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because like Metallica is one of those bands that's like you can go the whole way back to like Ride the Lightning, and you have people that are like, oh my god, they sold out, they did acoustic.
Yeah,
You know?
it is funny.
Especially with like the thrash metal crowd, they're like those real like elitist thrashers that are like hated Metallica ever since they made Fade to Black
Yeah,
because it had an
yeah,
acoustic part in the beginning.
yeah, it gets ridiculous, man. And the way people can be about music, it's like, dude, fucking when you make, I feel like, because I was that way a lot. I'm a music snob, but
Yeah.
I gave a little more leeway than that. But it's like, dude, till you make 5 killer thrash albums, why are you talking shit on Metallica?
Yeah.
Like you make 5 albums that are better, and then after that, maybe you give Metallica some pointers. But even to diss them is kind of, I don't know, man. Saint Anger was awful though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't really matter how much you love or hate Metallica. It's just like everybody hates Saint Anger.
Yeah. I never heard the whole thing. Maybe it's really good. I don't know. I didn't get through the first couple tracks.
See, that's the thing. Like, I started hearing about all the like hate behind it and everything before I even heard it. So it was like for years I just went with it. I was just like, oh yeah, okay, this album sucks, even though I hadn't even heard it.
Yeah.
So one day I'm like, okay, maybe I'll actually give this a try. And I think I maybe listened to like the first 3 songs, and I'm like, okay, well, I can see why people hate this. I don't
Yeah.
really need to listen to the whole 75 minutes to understand why people hate
It's
it.
different like when Load came out. I think I was in like 8th grade, I think, when Load came out. And that album, Load and Reload, were unique in that when they came out, it was the same way. I'm like, fuck this, man. This ain't fucking Metallica.
See,
But then in retrospect, they kick ass. They're good albums.
That's what I mean. See, like I actually liked those
Yeah.
albums, but
I
then
like
again,
them
like
now. Yeah.
when I was growing up, like most of us grew up on Metallica, but like if you're my age, by the time you were a kid and started getting into that stuff, it was like you just you were already used to albums like Load and Reload.
Oh, yeah, because we're a little different. How old are you?
I'm about say I'm 26. Well, I'll be 26 in a few weeks.
Yeah, there's like a 10-year difference.
Yeah, we're like
So,
10 years apart. So for you, it's understandable,
yeah, because I
especially
was right there when it came out.
and people like my dad's age who are like 20 some years older than me, who are like they remember when Kill 'Em All like first came out and they were like 13. So by the time which is interesting because my dad was actually like, nah, man, like Load is actually a pretty good album. He actually liked it when it came out.
I just wanted to. I was waiting for the,
It's just
harder album.
it's one of those things where it's like, with the elitism and all that, like God forbid a band like expands their sound.
Yeah. I dissed a lot of bands for that, and it's like I did a lot of music, and I get it now. Because like for me, I'd like to do different music just to see if I could, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it's like they already made the good heavy albums. It's not like you're gonna lose those because they drop a new one that's different.
Well, see, the thing I like about an album like Load is that like Metallica showed that they could do a country song if they wanted to, and it's a good. You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
right?
exactly. Is it like
Mama Said?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's a great fucking song, man.
It is weird though. It's like they did drop a country song.
But what does that show though?
It shows that they're talented.
Yeah, it shows that these guys that are veterans in metal can do a country song if they really wanted to. But how many country guys do you know could make metal? Like
I don't really know many country singers.
That's the thing. Like,
I actually had a T-shirt of a country singer. I can't remember who, and I found it in my house because I had a lot of roommates buzzing in and out of my house. I wear it to work. I wore it to work like 3 different times, and I didn't know what it was. And then someone made a comment about it, and I'm like, "Oh shit! I didn't know all that. I got a reputation to uphold. Here I am wearing." And then so I went up to my boss the one day, and I told him, when an employee sees another employee wearing a country singer T-shirt, they should first confront the employee, and if nothing changes, go up to the supervisor. I had this whole joke lined up about it, but yeah, I don't know hardly any country singer. I don't know like hardly any pop music.
Yeah, I know of artists, but it's like I've never listened to them.
Yeah,
I could tell you okay, I know like Alan Jackson and like Tim McGraw and like if you want to talk about like newer shit, but I've like never paid attention to any of their shit.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about like older country shit, like Waylon Jennings and like Johnny Cash and shit, that's some good fucking country.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like older bands that were really good, and back then they were more of rock stars. because there weren't like right now. There's the music industry is so saturated. It's not even an industry really. There's just
Yeah,
a
like
million bands for free everywhere. So there's no rock stars. Like where are the Led Zeppelins of today? I don't.
yeah, cause like I was gonna say, cause country used to be like, when it first started out, it was like rock and roll. It was rockabilly. Um, like Carl Perkins and Hank Williams Sr. Shit like that.
And then so
And they were actually talking about shit.
yeah,
Like problems that people face in the world, not just like drink a beer and ride your tractor, and
like like a lot of blues music. I like blues a lot. And they would have songs about like their girlfriend kicked them out of the house and they're at the bar drinking whiskey and that kind of shit. I like those songs. You know.
oh yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I'm big on blues. Like I feel like I'm one of the very few, you know, people in my age group with the knowledge that the everything that we know and love today is derivative from the blues.
And yeah, and a lot of it from classical music as well.
Yeah.
Talking about Metallica, that's that I heard that about metal is that it's either derived from classical or blues, and there's different.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think I feel like sometimes people like to I guess make metal and classical like more relevant together than it actually is. Like
You think?
it has classical influence and elements, especially like the old progressive progressive is very like classical
Yeah, yeah.
influenced. Classical and jazz influenced. But I feel like they like to line them up way too much and relevate them together.
Yeah, probably.
Because like
And
honestly, like I know that
I like the with the classical, it's more the structure. The
do you want to
structure
just
of a
do you want
song.
to edit that out then since you walked away? Or
Nah, I just
oh okay. Anyway,
I don't know this shit.
I don't know how you do things on here. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there's like this ongoing joke of like how like if the classical artists like Bach and Beethoven, Mozart and whoever um were around and they saw like what the metal artists were doing today, that they'd be like so thrilled and enthused on it, and I don't really see it that way.
They were insane.
I
Like
don't think they would like to have that so relevated with their music,
it is nuts when you
because those guys were like prodigies, you know from like birth they were talented with music.
that's kind of where I was going with it. Like they
I mean,
wrote the
look at Beethoven, man. That guy lost his hearing. That guy lost his hearing and was still able. He had like all the notes and everything memorized in his head and could still play deaf. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Who's doing that shit now?
Exactly. Of course, that must have sucked though. He didn't act once he went deaf. He didn't actually get to hear that ever again.
Yeah, it's like what they say. Music is vibration, and maybe he still
I guess maybe he
felt
could
it. I
still
don't
get down
know.
on it because he was still like playing it. And he had all the notes and shit memorized, so maybe it was like, okay, I can just use my imagination.
And they had to write the music for all the instruments, like a composer.
Yeah.
God knows how many different musicians were involved in one song. Guess it depends what style. Of classical music, there's all kinds of styles and time, and their styles are more based on time periods with that
And
stuff.
like nowadays, with us going to, loud ass metal concerts and shit, it's like we should probably worry about our hearing because if we go deaf, we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do without music.
Yeah, my hearing's not the best.
Being music people like us, it's like I almost think I'd rather be blind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
But then you
that
don't
classical.
then with-
Which one would you rather?
and then with that, it's like then you go blind. It's like, well, shit.
How do I get to the show?
Yeah, what hot chicks do I get to look at?
Yeah. Yeah, no, in a relationship, I'd much rather be deaf.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, she'd
Yeah,
try
it's
to bug
weird.
me and wouldn't be able to. I'm like, I can't fucking hear you.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
still get to see her naked though.
Yeah, so there's that. It kind of flip flops there. But yeah, no. So I was in Alabama, man. There were so many bands. I don't know. Like I know you would have known a lot of them, but then there were some from my era in the 90s.
Probably. You
too.
said you saw Turnstile.
Turnstile. They were awesome.
What was the other one?
Knocked Loose.
Oh yeah.
They were right before them. Those were like
I know. I definitely I know who they are, and I've heard them. I just never got like real big into them. I know Knocked Loose is like, well, both of them really. Knocked Loose and Turnstile are like, they're like kingpins in the hardcore scene today.
yeah, right now.
Now, see, the first time I heard Turnstile, I thought this sounds a lot like Rage Against the Machine.
The vocals a little bit.
The vocalist, yeah. So I thought that was.
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
catch that. Well, the first one I heard was Step to Rhythm, and I don't think he sounds like that so much in that one. But then the other one I got after that, I heard it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could hear it a lot then. But yeah, I saw a show listed. It was like All Out War, Death Threat.
I've probably
Wisdom
seen
in
it.
Chains.
I see so many shows posted on Facebook and stuff. It's just like I can't remember all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. I thought they were gonna be gone though. Everyone was freaking out. I thought we weren't gonna have shit like that, and then I started seeing them pop up.
Yeah.
And then I went to a show.
Well, we're hoping that we'll have to shut everything down again.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I went to the music festival. There's like 15,000 people
Yeah.
chilling with each other.
People are still
no bullshit.
I mean, I can understand it, but like, if you're worried about like this, the social gatherings and stuff, it's like just don't go.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But yeah, I mean,
I get it. Like the people that are worried about the COVID and stuff still want to go out and have fun, but it's like, man, you don't want to ruin other people's parades.
Yeah.
But
it's a weird situation because we used to go to shows constantly, just constant local shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. I don't know if this is gonna get shut down because of whatever happens this winter, but so far it says it's still happening. In December, Circle Jerks. I don't know if you saw are getting back together.
I did. I saw that
at the Soundstage in Maryland, Baltimore.
Yeah. Yep. Someone told me about.
Yeah,
that
it's
shit.
Quite a lineup. It's I think it's Circle Jerks, Negative Approach, and like Adolescence or something.
Yeah, someone told me exactly about that show. It's like your friend, your one friend. I work with his dad. I don't know if you still talk to him or not. We seen him at the Napalm Death show.
Oh, him, yeah.
So
I was
anyway,
never really like close friends with him or anything, but
just
I
like
know
an
who you're
acquaintance.
talking about.
Yeah, his dad told me about this. The same shit you're talking about.
Mhm.
Circle Jerks,
Yeah.
Adolescents. Adolescents do Kids of the Black Hole, right? That's them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amoeba.
Yep. And then
Amoeba's the big one. That's the one that was on. I don't know if you played the Tony Hawk games back
yeah,
in the day.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, Amoeba. That was on Pro Skater 3. That was like the opening. No, actually, I think it was like the second track on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I remember hearing a lot of the songs on.
That's how I got into a lot of shit. Was from those.
From Tony Hawk.
Yeah, believe it or not.
I was just talking to my buddy on this thing about the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Hmm.
Dude, I got into a lot of bands on that
Oh,
soundtrack.
really?
I was young, real young, and I got that. It had Napalm Death, who I'd never heard of, Fear Factory, who I'd never heard of.
See,
yet.
I didn't know. Like, see, I played a bunch of like old, the old Mortal Kombat games, and like, I don't ever remember there being like actual like bands.
Oh no, this was from the movie. They made a movie.
Oh,
it was real.
oh,
it was
the movie,
really
okay.
fucking stupid. The
I
movie.
didn't see it.
Don't. But yeah, the
Really?
the soundtrack was awesome.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
thought
was
you were
young when
talking-
I watched it, so I liked it. But
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the video game
No.
because the video game just had like regular, like fighting, like cave music on it or whatever.
yeah, and that fucking voice, that dude talking throughout the whole thing. I used to know.
Fatality.
I used to have the codes for all the fatalities. Old school shit. I'd play it at the roller rink. I'd play Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Street Fighter. I
So
like Street
that was
Fighter
one of the
better.
best parts about going to the arcade back in the like 90s and 2000s.
They don't have that shit no more.
They have I know I don't know if they opened back up, but before the pandemic there was a arcade
In York,
in York.
Timeline Arcade.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, people still went in there and they still had like they had like a TV. They had like all the old shit hooked up to it, like all the Nintendo, the
Yeah,
original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and 64.
I would go for the pinball. It doesn't matter what kind of technology comes out. You cannot play pinball without the damn pinball machine. It's a
Yeah.
fucking metallic ball that you hit with a thing. Like, you can't put that on a computer. So I'd play pinball down there, and there's like 10 pinball machines. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So you go into that fucking negative approach, circle jerks.
I plan on it, yeah. The cool thing is that another reason why I wanted to hop on working third shift was because the schedule is like Sunday night through Thursday night, so then you have Friday and Saturday night off that you can go to shows.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
I did third shift. Well, I multiple times throughout my life did I do it, but more recently I did it
I'm
for a while. And
starting
I couldn't stand it, man. I wouldn't sleep.
For a while, I didn't like it either, but I'm kind
Got
of
used to it.
getting more used to it. Well, you gotta like sleep more like during the middle of the day.
Yeah,
I try to go to sleep as early as possible, so that way I can.
like after getting off work.
Yeah, so that way like I have more time in the evening to like do shit.
I would do the worst possible. I'd wake up at 9 at night and I'd go to bed at like
See
3
that?
in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I did when I first started, and it fucked me up.
Yeah, it's not cool.
You're always like missing shows and shit, and
Missing the.
missing hangouts with your friends. It's just like fucking sucks.
And then when you go to bed at 3 in the afternoon, you just feel awful. I would get that churning in my stomach. Everyone, and people are like, "Oh, you don't go to bed till 3 in the afternoon. Why don't you come to this?" I'm like, "No, fuck that." So I didn't do
Yeah.
anything. I hated
Actually,
it.
I heard from what I found out, a lot of people on third shift actually do that. I think they'll nap from like 3 to 9 or something. I guess if you want to call that a nap.
A lot of them,
Some
yeah.
people they can sleep like 6 hours and they're good to go, which I'm like that sometimes myself.
I
But
do about 5 to 6 hours a night.
I prefer
Be honest
I
with you.
prefer the nice healthy 7 to 8 hours.
I would like to, yeah.
But sometimes it's just like you just got too much shit going on, so it ends up being 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. Like when it's time that like I know I should probably get some sleep, I stay up another hour or whatever. I don't know why I do that
I always
shit.
end up what I do is interestingly enough, I end up like I'll lay down, but like I'll lay there and won't even try to fall asleep for like a whole hour because I'll be like skimming YouTube, watching podcasts or whatever, you know.
Oh, trying to settle in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I like to listen to podcasts to fall asleep.
Oh yeah. I
I
do.
found out that that's like a real effective way of, like falling asleep.
It's funny because I do this, but when I listen to a
It's relaxing.
podcast, I actually listen to super intellectual shit. Like people just, people who wrote books or psychology
Yeah.
or whatever. My podcast is just kind of bullshitting with people.
Well, it's more like
It's a lot of
you
them
just got a
actually.
little independent thing going on here. You're not famous or anything yet.
The fuck I'm not.
No,
No, I'm just.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, I
what
do.
was
I
that?
just. This started because of.
That you were telling me about that you got signed as a rapper.
I did, but then it's
I
like,
was gonna say, talk a little bit about that because I got some friends that might be curious. I actually had a friend that wanted to know like more about your podcast. Like, what's the name of your? You got like a name for this yet?
Crown of Thoughts.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Crown of Thoughts.
yeah.
Yep.
I came up with the name on the sixth episode. The purpose of the name is just my head rushes all the time, and my thoughts never fucking shut off, and so that's what I called it.
Believe me too. It almost like it stresses me out.
Yeah, my head don't stop.
It's been, and even like these days with all the shit that's going on, it's just like, man, you're cooped up in your house all day and it's just like stuck with your thoughts and it's just like fuck, man. It's just like I need more people to talk to.
That or more stuff to
And it
do.
sucks too when you're not like the most social person in the world and like trying to make friends nowadays is just like ridiculous. It's
It's
almost impossible,
it's
really.
hard, and then when you get older,
Especially if you're my age. Cause like people my age are just like I feel like we're like the worst.
like the generation.
Yeah, like I guess if you want to call it millennial.
It was funny because
You're like more of the Gen X type
yeah, but
for sure.
apparently, like what I heard is millennials go start at 1984. And does that sound? That don't sound right to me. But someone
Yeah,
told me that.
it's weird.
That's when I was born, and
It's
so I
weird
got
how it
into I
works.
got into a fight at the bar because the dude called me a millennial, and I slid my bar stool. I stood up, and I'm like, I was born in the fucking 80s. I yelled at him, and
Well, like,
then it's like someone told me that is like 1984 when I was born. Someone told me that's where it begins
well,
with
yeah,
millennials.
it's actually it's more of an attitude kind of thing. It's not really based on
Yeah, I'm not a fucking
age.
millennial.
I like to think I'm not one. Although a lot of
These
guys,
stupid terms don't mean anything. Though.
yeah, a lot of guys your age would probably be like, "Oh man, why'd you do that? Why'd you make that stupid decision? That's such a millennial thing to do."
Well, you think people my age think of millennials as really stupid or a bunch of pussies, basically.
Yeah,
Whiny little brats that are stuck on their computers well, the difference is the people my age did live a time period with where you didn't have cell phone. You wouldn't have a cell
yeah.
phone unless you were
Well,
rich, and
the,
there was no social media, and so we started off a different way. And what we think of as a millennial is someone that is flooded with computers
well,
and shit.
they call it coddling. They think
Coddling.
that they say
Yeah,
millennials are very coddled, like I guess having it more, maybe not like economically made, but like family wise, like the way they were raised and stuff. Like most millennials like had it made, you know.
Yeah, that is how like
You
I'm
know, like cuz
millennials just a term, but people my age think of that word just like you're saying, like people that never had it rough.
yeah. But here's another thing too, like I'll back up the millennials for a sec here and say like, normally I wouldn't do so, but yeah. Um is that you have the generation before the Gen X that were like they were raised a certain way, like more traditionally, and it was like
Hmm.
it was real more rougher and ragged, and parents were just parents, and that's how they learned how to like survive and all that. But I think the thing that the Gen X people fail to realize is how they raised their kids. You gotta admit, not a lot of Gen Xers did a real good parenting job. They tried,
And they had a situation where they're raising kids, and it's the
and
same
you
with
don't, you
every
don't,
parent.
you don't have any kids, so
No,
you wouldn't
but
understand it as
I
much.
would understand. I was
But
involved in a child's life for a good
yeah,
good amount of time, and what I get from it is they have so much technology that we don't understand. Like, how is that gonna affect someone's growing up when they have shit like Facebook and like cell phones? All right, this is the thing. If you got kids, and like I don't have kids of my own, but I was involved in a child's life, and she was a girl, so it wasn't as big a deal. But let's say you got a son, and he's
hmm
like fucking 10, and he has a cell phone. He can straight up watch porn. Like there's no way you can you know what I mean? You can't just. It's almost
yeah,
like you can't monitor what the kids are
yeah,
doing,
yeah, and that's.
and that's bad. You don't want a 10-year-old looking at that shit.
Oh yeah,
But that's kind of a thing I think when you're
and
saying
that's the
that
the
they don't people parents that are my age don't know how to monitor.
well, yeah, and that's what I was getting at with the Gen X and their parenting strategies is that it became a lot more laid back. It was like because you gotta admit, a lot of people your age in your generation, I guess, if however you want to say it, you gotta admit like a lot of you guys probably did not like the way your parents did things. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, not me as
Because
much.
a lot of what happened too, and this is what my
I personally appreciated the way my parents, but a lot of people,
yeah,
not so much.
like for instance, what my dad told me was that like he wanted to be different. Now you always think to yourself, okay, well, if I'm gonna have kids, then I want to do things differently. I don't want to be the way my parents were. But lots of times, what ends up happening is you don't even realize it, and you end up being a lot like your parents were.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Even though you don't try it, it happens.
Yeah, because that's subconsciously that's what you know. I was when it comes to my parents, it took a long time for me to realize I am a lot like my dad, like a lot,
Yeah,
and I would have never thought that when I was younger or
I'm starting to
suspected that.
realize that too. And for years, I thought to myself, like, man, I just want to be different from my parents. I want to,
Yeah, and everyone's got different parents, but I those thoughts kind of disintegrated as I grew up because I'm like my
yeah,
parents are really good,
hmm
but I've known people that there's all types.
yeah. Now some people like they kill it. They made sure like they never got like their parents. They ended up doing things completely differently. A lot of parents ended up deciding that oh well, no, I don't want to be too rough on my kid, like because a lot of what they experienced from their parents could have been very traumatic.
Yeah, or they didn't have hardly any
You know,
discipline.
like physically abusive.
Oh yeah, well
And a
yeah,
lot of times, it's like people don't want to be physically abusive because if they are, it reminds them of that time.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's definitely a thing.
And they just
But
want to get away from that. So they end up raising their kids differently.
or they had a lot of rules that they didn't understand, so they're just kind of lenient, and they're like, well,
Yeah.
as long as I love my kid, I don't gotta make all these rules for them. There's all different types. I've known people with the most horrific parents you could imagine.
Yeah, and I feel like the older I get, the more I'm realizing, the more responsibilities and stuff I have to put up with as an adult. I start to realize more what my dad and my parents went through, and specifically my dad because he was the one that got full custody of me. What he went through and like how the hard work he had to put in to make sure we had a roof over our head.
Yeah, all the yeah. You realize that now having a job.
Because now having to like try to do that stuff and take care of yourself, yourself, it's like you understand
That's
it more.
enough, let alone
Yeah,
take.
and that's why now I'm like, here I am with like I'm single, and I just couldn't even imagine having a kid because I'm still trying to get myself in check.
Yeah, I'm still doing that shit too.
I
It
feel like
doesn't stop. It's not like you hit an age and everything's figured out.
it
It
could
will never
still
stop.
it could still be me when I'm your age in 10 years.
Yeah. I'm not. What are you trying to say? I'm fucking old.
Yeah, man, you're pretty old.
No, but it'll never stop. When I was younger, I thought once I hit like 40, I'll have the whole world figured out.
I don't think
Yeah,
anybody
that
ever figures the
no,
world out.
no, it don't stop.
You know more, like for instance, like my grandpa. He's 83 years old, and you know he still tells me he's like kid, you got a lot to learn. To him, for as long as he's been around, someone like me, I'm always kid.
Yeah,
Well, just like with my dad, I'll always be a kid to him. But with him, he grew up in a completely different. My grandpa grew up in a completely different time frame where it was like, like you do not like your parents come first. They're the authority, and you know this and that.
and you had to do. Well, I don't know
Things
him,
were just
but
so much more disciplined
yeah,
in his time.
that's what I was gonna get at. Like my grandma had to get up at like 5 in the morning and milk the cows and
Oh,
all
really?
this and that and the other thing. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that's like.
yeah,
I get up at 5 in the morning and falling back to sleep in 30 minutes.
yeah. It's been a very hard year for my family because my grandmother actually passed away at the beginning of this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
How old was
she
she?
she was 77, which is that's actually about the average life expectancy right now.
Oh, is it? My grandma was 98 when she died.
Mm. Well, you're lucky she's stuck around that long. You got to be with her.
Yeah, well, it got to the
But
point where we had to take care of her. She couldn't take care of
that's the
herself.
thing I was just about to get at.
I'd watch her like fucking.
My grandfather, he's 83 years old this year, and he feels like shit. He's just like, man, I'm old. I feel like shit every day.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's like
The older you get, the more problems you
you're
have.
afraid of like getting old and shit. Death's right around the corner. By the time you're old, you're gonna be fucking waiting for that shit. Like, I feel awful. I'm how old?
Yeah.
I can barely take a shit properly.
So you got to think, man, like with your grandma who made it to 98, she was probably suffering for years.
Well, she got to. I mean, you could have full on conversations with her, but she more remembered long term stuff than short term. Like,
Hmm.
She really didn't know it was happening some of the time.
I'll tell you what though, you're still lucky nowadays if you can make it to 90.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
Like, I don't think
hoping.
I'm gonna make it that long.
I try not to think about this shit.
Probably not.
Honestly, some days I don't see myself making it to 40.
I always thought shit like that. Like, I'll never be that old. Late 30s.
I just
It's
feel like
not
it's
even
a
that old. It don't feel old at all now.
maybe it's just a common way to feel
I think so.
because the older you get, the more you have to worry about. And you just like you get the from the stress and the anxiety and everything, especially the stress of it, you're just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this.
Yeah, it gets a little bit. I've been thinking a lot actually today about that. Like I always like I always say, like I love being single. I don't like having people annoy the fuck out of me in my own home.
Hmm.
But the older you get, and I'm not saying right now, but I think when I start to, 20, 30 years from now, I'm gonna be lonely. I think maybe not. It
Well, you never
depends
know.
if you got some good hobbies and some shit you like to do. You know, who knows what'll happen. I've just been thinking about that,
My
like the
dad
future.
is my dad is he'll be 51
Oh
actually.
yeah.
This Yeah, his birthday's coming up this weekend, or no, Monday. He'll be 51, and he's actually my stepmom is, I guess if you want to call her stepmom, quote unquote, because she's only like 10 years older than me. But either way, my dad's
Props to your dad.
yeah, my dad yeah. My dad's wife, if you want to call it that, is they're about 15 years apart and still having kids. They have one on the way.
So I can only hope that when I'm 51, I have a wife that's 15 years younger than me. I think that's a good thing to good thing to hope for.
Yeah.
No, but they but yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how like I thought they were done having kids because I thought it was interesting enough when I was 16 when I first had my they had their first kid together, and I was like, damn, it's the first time I'm
It's
having
an
a little
age
brother.
gap there.
Yeah, and now I'm like, 26 years old. I'm old enough to have a kid that's like in kindergarten, compared to some of these people, and here I am still having little siblings.
Yeah, that's wild, honestly.
But it's interesting because like growing up, I was a single child. First 16 years of my life. That's your most influential years. So it's like I got used to just being alone and on my own by myself.
It's probably still gonna be like that though, because of the age gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. I don't have any siblings that are fucking 20 years younger than me.
It just makes me wonder. Yeah.
That's gotta be weird as fuck,
Yeah,
actually.
it's different, but I like seeing them. It's always good to have more family to go see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, it's like it just makes me wonder like what they're gonna be like when they actually get older and start to learn the world and get out there and what their personalities are gonna be like.
Yeah. See what they get
And just
into.
based on the way they act now, you kind of get ideas.
Yeah, that's a little bit nuts there, man. I think my dad was like that. I think his brother was a lot older than him. It was something. I think something like 10 years or so. I think he was gone when I was like 1 year old. where my grandpa was.
Hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Where do you work?
Right now I work at this it's like a distribution center for honey products
Oh yeah,
in Lancaster. It's called Dutch Gold Honey.
Lancaster.
Yeah.
You drive the whole way to Lancaster.
Yeah, I mean it's not. Yeah, it's not bad as far as like on the way there, because when I go there at nighttime, there's like no traffic. Coming back home in the morning sucks ass.
Oh yeah.
Because you got the first shifters and all that going in,
What do
plus the
you get out
school
at
buses and shit.
You get out at like 7 a.m. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I go to work about 10 o'clock. I drive there, and then yeah, I leave about 7,
It's 11 to 7 then.
10:30 to 7. Because you know
You don't get paid for your
they,
lunch.
they don't want to pay for the lunch break,
Fucking
so
bullshit.
make you do the extra half hour, assholes.
I get paid for my breaks, but I had a job where I didn't. And it was weird because I was like, can I just fucking go home early and like not take my break?
Oh yeah, just so you could get
you're
that
keeping
solid
me
8
here an
hours.
extra half hour, for nothing.
Well, honestly though, I kind of like how it's that extra half hour is earlier and not later, because
Yeah.
I worked a shift this one place I worked at that was third shift. It was 11 to 7:30, and I'm just like, oh my god, you're making us stay till 7:30 in the morning. Like, what the
Get out of here,
fuck,
Juan.
man? And so you get out and you're getting home, the traffic's getting worse, and it's just like, man, my whole day's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't like third shift. Honestly, I think
No,
maybe
it's
after a while,
understandable.
you'll get sick of it because I did it for a long time. And then I didn't mind it to a certain degree, and then I noticed like I wasn't sleeping, I
Well,
wasn't seeing my friends, I wasn't
Mhm.
getting out doing stuff. It was just my whole life was just starting to get shot.
well, here's the thing. I think it's based on how you do it.
Yeah, well, not for you, but I know a lot of people on third shift have like kids, and after work they take care of them
Yeah.
while the other parent goes to work. So it's good for that kind of stuff. But
I feel like generally people who end up getting married and having kids, they're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be a normal first shifter, you know?
yeah, but then like the people I've seen on third shift like that do that to avoid daycare. So they
Well, yeah, there's that too, but here's what I'm realizing, because I did second shift for years.
I like second. I'm on first shift now, but I like second.
Oh, you're on first now?
Yeah, I switched.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember last time we were hanging out. Well, pretty much ever since I knew you, you said you were on second.
Yeah, second standard.
I liked that for years, but I ended up finding out that that's kind of more of like your
party.
your young like partier, you know?
That's
Like,
why I was on it. So
yeah.
I before you even said it.
I wasn't even, but that's the thing. Like, I found it. I wasn't being responsible. Like, I wasn't getting shit done. I was sleeping the whole way up till like 1 p.m. till it was time to get up and get ready to go to work.
Oh,
And I just
yeah.
could not get my ass up earlier to do things that I had to do, you know, like appointments or shopping and shit, whatever I needed to do. So the reason why I switched to third shift was for more of like a responsibility adult kind of deal, you know. Like, I don't have to get up early and be like, you know, a normal first shifter, but like I can get off of work, go do the things I need to do, and then go to bed, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm experiencing a lot of that now on first shift. I work only 12-hour shifts, but I have a weird schedule where I get a whole bunch of days off, and I can actually accomplish shit.
plus I found that it's talking like if like meetings and appointments and stuff like that, they're actually easier to get in the mornings as opposed to the after, like in the evenings when everybody gets off of work.
Yeah, Yeah, second shift's bad for that shit.
That's what
It's
I mean.
very
That's
bad
why
for that
I
shit.
had to. That's why I chose to get off a second and go on third because I could felt like I could be more responsible.
Second shift for me is like a partier's shift
Yeah.
because you get out of work at like 11 and it's like you still got time to get it in
Hmm.
and you don't want to wake up at any time. You can wake up like you're saying 1 in the afternoon,
You can and you
stumble out of bed,
go
then
to the
you get off
bar.
work, party.
Hmm.
That's what. But
I
I
fit. Yeah.
couldn't do that no more. I'm like this is starting to become like no way to live. I
Yeah.
gotta switch. I gotta
Yeah.
switch it up, grow up a little.
I still don't want to like people were saying to me, they're like, well, why don't you just go on first shift? And it's like, well, man, because I just don't want to feel like I'm old.
It's hard to honestly. It's hard to wake up. I'm more tired on first shift.
That's what I mean.
It's
Like,
hard to wake
because
up.
honestly,
I
like,
wake up at 5 in the morning now.
yeah, exactly. Even when you're a kid, it's like you don't for school. You don't want to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night and have to wake up at 5 in the morning. You know,
No,
like who
no.
the fuck? If you're not 80 years old, who the fuck wants to do that? Like,
If you're not 80, why are you waking up at 5 a.m.?
yeah,
But I got a weird shift now where I'll work like this weekend. Starting tomorrow, I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
mm-hmm.
3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Then I have off Monday, Tuesday. Then I work Wednesday, Thursday. Then I have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have off a million days.
Yeah.
I flip back and forth is my point.
Yeah.
So every other weekend I'll have off. And then, I like it because I never had that many days off. I would work I worked 27 days in a row.
Yeah.
Before I was given that shift. And that was all second shift. So it was like, you can't get nothing done. Yeah, like if you want to take your car to the shop and you work second shift.
So wait, when you were on second shift and did you do 12s when you were
Eights.
on? Oh,
Yeah, I did eights 5 days a week.
Because when you're on second and you got to go over and do 12s, that's like till 3 a.m. and it's like, oh fuck, my whole night's shot.
Yeah. No, I would do that. Or I would do 11 to 11.
That's
yeah. Better. 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. is a lot better than fucking 3 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I used to hate that when I would stay late till 3 in the morning. I'd see my shift go home, and I'd still be there. And then I'd get inside my head, oh, I bet they're having a beer right now. My shift, I'm still here.
Yeah.
But
then if you're doing 11 to 11, you got to get your ass up early.
Yeah. And it's not so easy.
No, see, that's why I knew, like, being on second shift, like, I was like, I'm not going to get my priorities straight. I was like, I need to go on third so I can get my shit together.
Yeah, but now I have all these days off. I feel a little better. The 12-hour days are long. They get to be a little.
Oh yeah, well that's a good thing with that is that do you work 3 12s? You do 36 hours and get paid for 40?
I do 36 and then 48, and it flips back and forth.
Oh, you go back and forth. But
yeah, because I have my long week and my short week. So my long week, I do 5 12-hour shifts basically. In my short week, I do 2.
But when you work your 36-hour week, do you get paid for 40?
No.
Oh, really?
No, but then I do a 48, so I get overtime.
Oh, so yeah, you catch up.
I actually gain money because I get overtime every other week. This cat looks like nope. This cat.
Cat wants to get up
she
on
wants
the
to jump up there, and she stepped on the one episode. She jumped up and stepped on the fucking.
I seen that. Yeah.
Hey, crazy cat. She's pretty good though. If I have a billion things on the table, she'll jump up and miss all of them.
Does she knock these lamps over and shit?
Oh, there she's behaving.
Hey.
The lamps are my expensive recording equipment. Cat's making me nervous.
She like to like bite the cords and shit.
No, I just still think she's gonna step on the
No,
fucking.
I think
button.
that's more of a dog thing, like chewing the cords and
No,
shit.
she don't do shit like that.
Okay.
She plays with beer caps. Her favorite toy is
Looks
beer
like she's gonna
caps.
knock these lamps over.
There we go. I'll move the couch. The one time there were 20 beer caps or so under there. I don't know how she gets in the couch. She'll go inside the couch.
So you're off tomorrow.
No, tomorrow I start my 3 days in a row.
Oh, okay.
3 12s in a row. That's as bad as it gets, though. But then I can do that.
What time? Do you start at 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.
So you're probably gonna want to go to bed at like what, 10?
Like 10, 11, 12. I don't sleep really.
Yeah, get your 5
I wake
hours.
up at 5 a.m., but
Yeah.
I don't sleep
That's cool.
like as much. I guess it's a lot of people sleep more. I do about 5 6 hours a night.
I want to be that person, but lots of times I want to get at least 7 because then I won't be so like stressed out.
Sometimes I'll wake up and be like, man, I should have got more sleep. My
Yep,
fucking head is rocking. I get to work and I'm half falling asleep. I'll drink like 2 Bang Energies, still be fucking a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit. So what's up with the garage? They still doing shows there?
No, actually they got condemned.
Pat said someone hurt themselves there.
Yeah, apparently some kid like I don't know, like scraped his knee or something or fell
Fucking
or whatever.
pussy.
Yeah, and then the mom got all mad and was like, we need to sue this place or whatever.
Stupid, man. That place has been open for so long. I was younger.
I know, dude, and
It
made,
shut down for a while, didn't it? And then it came back up.
no, I don't think it ever got shut down. No,
Well,
this
no,
is the first time.
No, I'm not saying it got shut down, but they stopped having it for a long period of time. Because I was younger when it was first around.
No, I don't.
I thought so.
I don't
anyway.
remember that. If
I
it
thought
was,
dude moved to another state and they didn't have it running for a
yeah,
while.
it could have been. I didn't start going until like 2015. So
Yeah, you wouldn't have.
so if it did happen, it would have been way before my time.
Yeah. My one girlfriend took me there. That's how I heard of it.
But no,
She's
here's
like, there's this little shack that does shows. I'm like, okay, whatever.
yeah.
And it was awesome.
But no, it's interesting because what was I gonna say? I guess what happened was like his whole garage got like condemned. It got like a notice for being unlawful and stuff. So he couldn't even use his garage. But luckily, like he's able to use his garage now. He got the notice taken down and everything. But he's still like gotta be cautious. Like he's not throwing shows right now. He's trying to raise money to, I guess, like bring it back or whatever.
That sucks, man.
I know.
There were some other venues, but none of them really panned out. Like in the area, where was the place we would go to? Hanover.
Yeah, David's Outlook.
Yeah, David's Outlook.
Yeah, I guess
There was that one.
he just stopped doing it because he had other interests.
Yeah, that one wasn't as organized.
No, what I missed was that. Do you remember? Didn't I take you to the Bean's basement in Lancaster? That one time.
Yeah. The one time I remember,
Yeah, it was that one
like
time.
a cement floor.
Yeah, it
Kind
was
of
like it was like
kind
the
of like a ledge.
it was
type
kind of like
floor.
the garage, only it was like you stand in the garage way, but then like the pit in the like band areas, like in the basement part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he ended up having a kid, and he stopped doing it, and haven't heard anything since. That's been about like 3 years.
There was some other ones too that, like, there was a couple that just never really did anything. There was that one in Hanover that me and my buddies shut down. The first show they had, we just fucked people up and they never did another show there again.
Oh God, dude, we gotta
I
talk
don't remember
about.
what it was called. They had one show. Me and my buddies went there, got hammered, and just fucked everything up. And then they're like, "Nope, we're not doing this."
Do you remember? This was a couple years ago. I took you to that. I wanted you to meet those hardcore crew guys.
Oh yeah,
Remember we went to it was the Lizard Lounge where
yeah.
and remember that dude started fucking flinging that dude's crutch around
That
and
was
like just about like
that scared the fuck out of me. Honestly.
he almost murdered like 10 people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a little bit nuts. I didn't like that.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame you, dude.
It's
I
a little
I wanted to
irresponsible.
kick his ass, you know.
Taking a crutch and just like swinging it around. He might as well have had a baseball bat in the pit.
Yeah,
That was a little bit excessive. But I remember that.
Yeah.
Cool bands. Well, Trenches. That's who we
Yeah.
saw. Trenches. That was
they're
the
not around.
Primitives.
They broke up.
That was like the members from Primitives with a different singer.
Yep. Yeah, they had a few lineup changes. They got like 2 new singers, I think, but they broke up now, unfortunately.
A lot of these local bands. There were a lot of good ones, man.
Yeah, apparently once the pandemic happened, it just broke a lot of bands apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't pay attention to media much, so I didn't notice a whole lot of change.
But there's this new spot called Love Drafts Brewery in Mechanicsburg, and they start doing shows now. That's where MC from Skid Row Garage, he's doing shows there now.
Yeah, because he's a good promoter,
Yeah.
regardless. What's it? I think I heard of it. Lovecraft's Blue.
Love Drafts.
Love Drafts
And there's
Brewery.
and there's another one. It's just a bar. It's JB Love Drafts in Harrisburg.
In Harrisburg.
But I only been there once because like trying to park in Harrisburg and drive in Harrisburg fucking sucks.
Is this downtown Harrisburg?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of venues down there that I used to go to, and it does like, it's just not even worth it for me, unless it's like I'll drive in really annoying situations if it's a band that I really like, but if it's just I really like local bands, but if it's just a bunch of bands, you know, I don't know. Like Philly's one of my least favorite places to drive. I hate it. But let's say there's a band I absolutely love. I might take the trip.
Baltimore. I drove to Baltimore by myself, and it sucked, but it was worth it because I got to see the Melvins.
Oh, yeah? When was it? I don't mind Baltimore.
That was 20. I remember I told you about it. It was back in 2019, late.
Who were they playing?
2019. It was them and Red Cross.
Red Cross.
Yeah, honestly, dude, Red Cross was like they're like an old school rock and roll band, but like they were like the loudest fucking band I've ever heard.
Just the stereo system.
I was up.
I gotta blow my nose.
Yeah, I was up front, and like it was just. By the time the show was over, and the Melvins were pretty loud too. Melvins were. I was hearing from people, they're like, dude, the Melvins are so fucking loud live. But by the end of the show, it was like my ears were just dead for like a whole week.
Melvins are one of those bands. Every fucking album's different.
Yeah,
it's like what do the Melvins sound like? What album are you talking about?
Yeah, the Melvins, and they have like 30 albums.
Yeah.
They come out with an album. They've been coming out with an album like every year.
They're still doing shit.
Every other year, yeah. Since like the fucking late 80s.
That's pretty impressive.
And the funny thing about the Melvins is like the people who are like, oh well, what are the Melvins like? What's their style? And then you're like, you have them look at their albums and show them like the titles of the albums, and you're like, you decide for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I've heard them sound like all kinds of different things, man. I heard a Melvin song sound like a thrash song. I've heard them sound like that fucking stoner groove shit,
oh yeah, they do
like
anything
the
and
old like
everything.
alternative from the '90s
Some of their
style.
stuff is like very like Frank Zappa, like weird experimental shit.
Yeah, Frank Zappa is a beast.
Yeah. Frank Zappa was one of those guys too. He was always putting out shit. I couldn't even keep up with all his albums.
Yeah,
He probably had like 40 of them, 50.
I liked Hot Rats. It's like instrumental.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good
he
one.
was amazing. He was almost like a composer because he would just have all kinds of random noises and different people play instruments, and he
And not like,
put it all together and make some weird shit.
not only was he like so like good musically and like, like from a classical standpoint, you could say Frank Zappa could like, impress all the classical artists.
Yeah,
But no, not only that, like with the way he was musically and like he just like at the same time he was like so punk cuz like
oh yeah, he's definitely a
he
fucking
made fun
weirdo.
of everything. He trashed the whole like political system and everything. He was like it was like if South Park could play classical music or something.
Yeah, he kind of did make a parody of everything,
Yeah.
society, and all that fucking
I thought it
shit.
was kind of amazing how he was able to um, he got the rights to make a parody of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's album for "We're Only in It for the Money."
Oh yeah,
You remember seeing that one?
no.
Yeah, pretty iconic.
I
But
remember seeing a video of him playing with Pink Floyd, playing the
yeah,
bass with Pink Floyd on stage.
he played with a lot of people.
I remember the claymation music video. Did you ever see that where he's playing the guitar and then he
Yeah,
grows like extra fingers?
wasn't that for like Joe? Was that Joe's Garage or something? Or
I have no idea what it's for or what
um,
it was for. I just remember seeing it.
yeah, you don't know shit about like his albums or anything.
Not too much, no.
I like the old
My
like
dad was into Frank Zappa. That's how I know him.
yeah. I like the old shit he did in the '60s with the Mothers of Invention.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know all of his stuff too well. Like once he like started going solo and stuff.
That's like Janis Joplin, Big Brother and the Holding Company. Once
Hmm.
she started going solo, it just wasn't as good.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
never.
almost everyone, really. Like fucking, a prime example was Rob Zombie.
I
Like
ne-
White Zombie kicked ass, and once it started just being Rob Zombie, it's like I don't know, man.
yeah, I was gonna say I never got too big on Janis Joplin. Just like a few songs.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
I was always a big Doors guy. I always really liked the Doors.
I got like 1,000 Doors records, and it's all by accident. And the Eagles. You know when someone's like, "Oh, I got these old records. Do you want them?" Every single fucking one of them is like the Eagles or the Doors.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, had all that shit.
I
I
don't know.
just stick them in the back so the records I like don't bend.
I don't know shit about the Eagles. I just know that one song.
Yeah. I think Power Trip's playing soon.
Really?
I haven't even been looking. I'm
Their
not.
vocalist died. I didn't think they
Oh,
were
maybe
gonna
they're
get back
not playing
together.
soon. It might.
I didn't
Maybe
think
it's
so.
not them.
I didn't think they'd be getting another
He
vocalist.
died.
Yeah. I
Oh
think
my God, that guy. Yeah, I know.
yeah, he
That
died
wasn't
last year.
didn't even occur to me what the singer was. Yeah, it's it's
I'd
not Power
honestly,
Trip
I'd
anymore.
love to see what they could do with another vocalist, but
It wouldn't be right.
it
It's
wouldn't be
like
the
Guar.
same.
Guar's still around, even though they're no odorous.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Don't seem like it'd
Well,
be the
that's like
same.
the Dead Boys, right?
Yeah.
the punk band. Well, that's like Stiv Baders has been dead for like 30 years, and they try. And I mean, like, I get it for like like reunion purposes, but like they did a reunion tour without him, and it's just like, how the fuck is it the Dead Boys without Stiv Baders? Like
Yeah. It's like,
he's one of them guys that would just be like rolling in his grave, looking at what punk is today. You know.
I don't like. I don't really feel like punk is anymore today. The shit that they would
Punk's
call
dead.
finally,
I don't
like they
care. I'll
always
say it. Punk is
like they
dead.
always had the shirts or whatever. Punk's not dead. It's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Crass said it. Punk is dead a long time ago. The bands they call punk now, fuck that. That ain't punk.
I think it's
It's
more
like a bunch of fucking emo shit, like Lawrence Arms and whatever the fuck. That's bullshit
well,
music.
no, it's more punk to say that punk is dead.
Well, it is though, man.
Yeah.
What punk bands are there right now that are any good?
Well, the
I
thing
wouldn't
is,
know. I can't name any.
because punk is political. The thing you got to realize is that
Doesn't have to be.
punk, well, it doesn't have to be.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But with the whole like fucking like cancel culture, like social justice shit, I think that's really what like killed punk. I ain't even afraid to say it because it's just like it's become the system. Like you can't speak out on what you believe anymore without being crucified.
I can. I say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
No, it's like it is like that.
Everything's got to be like racist or transphobic or phobic this or ist or ism that.
I feel like telling some of these people everything can't be racist. Like, chill the fuck out.
And you know what's
Relax.
interesting is like, and this is like, I've really been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, this is a big topic right now. I see this as like a kind of like a social issue as far as like the people that that act like that. It's like you can call it like virtue signaling, where like the people that claim that they what am I trying to say? The people that claim that the stuff that they fight for don't actually like mean it. Behind closed doors, like they're just like they're fucking trash.
Yeah, it's almost.
They don't actually mean what they say.
It's almost like they're insecure.
I made a post about this the other day.
It's almost like they're insecure. It's almost like the dude that's secretly gay is always talking about how many chicks he banged. I think it's like that.
Yeah.
Like they don't really have anything going on. They don't really do anything like helpful.
Because when they're
and so they just talk shit about how not hateful they are. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I give a fuck. You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
it's like they're afraid to be something they already are. It's like everybody's a little racist or
Nah, I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
Oh.
I think racism is like extremely overplayed. Like I don't mean. When's the last time you met a racist person? I haven't fucking met one in forever.
Well, here's the thing. People are, it's all based on like what people don't understand. Like I don't understand what it's like to be a black guy. I've never.
Well, how would
I'm
you?
a white guy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's like I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna stand up for the things that I know nothing about. I guess.
That makes sense.
Or pretend to stand up for it.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
It's people standing up for things that they have no idea about, or they just don't even like fucking care in the first place, but they're afraid of being racist. They're afraid of being
called that.
Being the bad guy.
So they gotta make sure everything they say, they gotta throw a disclaimer on.
Yeah,
there.
they need momentum. They need they need assurance.
I know a good bit, not like a ton, but I know a number of black people, and they just rather you leave that whole subject alone. They don't want to be viewed as something else. They're just people. We're all
Yeah.
people, and I know a lot of white people that always want to talk about that shit. And for me, it's like I don't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck about it, and I don't think it's as big a deal as everyone makes it. Now again, how the fuck would I know? I don't, but I hang out with people, and that's all I bank everything on. Is like the people I interact with on a day-to-day basis. That's that's what I base my beliefs off
Yeah.
of about society.
Well,
And I don't see that shit ever.
what we're forgetting is that like it's not about what we post on Facebook. It's all about what our in life character is.
Yeah. Yeah, like you go to work with somebody, you interact with them, you go hang out with your friends, your family. That's all reality is.
It's like
That's it.
I've had a lot of people from the punk scene lately just like getting pissed off at me and deciding like the minute they saw I posted something that they, you know, dubbed as like, you know, racist or transphobic or homophobic or whatever, then all of a sudden that's the minute when they're like when they hardly even know me, they want to be like, "Oh, well, I'm not messing with you anymore. You're hateful."
Might be a bigger thing with your generation because
It is.
I don't know. I don't fucking
That's where I
I
hate
don't deal with this topic much, and I
That's where
know
I
a
hate the
wide
fucking
variety of different
millennials.
people. More so Spanish. I know tons of like Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, and I know a Dominican person. I know a lot of Spanish speaking people. I got Rosetta Stone app on my phone because I'm trying to learn Spanish to
Yeah.
bond with these people.
Well, I just feel like at the end of the day, you like nobody's special. Like,
People got names. People got first names. That's what they want to be called by.
mhm.
I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry, but that's the way I think. We just call each other by our goddamn names.
Yeah.
We don't gotta think about this stupid shit.
Well, people need labels. People need to pigeonhole you and label you as something. People need a reason to feel like the good guy
Yeah.
when really the good guy is the one being crucified for literally like nothing.
Like Jesus.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah. Here's the thing: if Jesus was around today, how much you want to bet they'd try to cancel him?
Because he has too much to say about shit.
Yeah.
They did though. Back then they did it.
Yeah.
They crucified him.
They'd act.
They did the exact same thing.
It would
back
absolutely.
then.
If it happened back then, it would absolutely happen now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these things you're talking about are not very relevant to me. And maybe it's the age difference. Maybe it's the fact that I don't watch any kind of media. I don't pay attention. I only pay attention to what's around me, and
That's good though. I just see
I
it
find
as
that
like,
therapeutic just to interact with the people around you and not pay attention to that stuff. Because you'll find most people don't believe in that stuff and don't think that
it's
way.
a big part of the world we live in, and most of it's just like the usual rhetoric that comes from social media. You know.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like it. It has its own version of reality
Like
that's not real.
the people who act like such big assholes towards you on the internet, like they're chances are they're like in person they're not even gonna say anything to you, you know.
They wouldn't have the balls.
Yeah, or they wouldn't have the balls to do it.
Yeah, most people I interact with, I think most people are good people.
I'm to the point
I do. I
now.
think your average person is a decent human being. Maybe when you throw them on social media, they got some dumb shit to say. That like when I had it, I trolled people a lot,
Yeah,
and it was kind of immature, but it made me laugh. But I meet you meet those people in real life, you ain't gonna be like
but
that.
it's like people have completely forgotten what the internet is all about. Like people are gonna post things that you don't agree with. People are gonna post things that that trigger you and upset you. That's just the world we live in. And the fact that we're like, getting so upset and offended over things being posted, you know,
It's like
on Facebook that
you,
came from
you really
Facebook.
got nothing else that's on your
Yeah,
mind.
they got nothing else better to do than be like, oh my God, let me actually go out of my way to find somebody who's, you know, who's being hateful.
And it's usually not someone being hateful. It's usually someone
I
just
know, and
saying some
it's like
dumb, random shit that
people
doesn't
act
have anything to do with anything, man.
people act like they know people through a fucking computer screen. It's like you're judging me based off of something that I posted on Facebook. You're
Well,
actually
you post some offensive shit, man. I don't like it. I get upset when I see it. No, I'm joking.
oh, too bad.
I guess I'm just some kind of fucking pussy then.
Go cry in the corner. No, I mean I'm just to the point now where like it's like okay, if you're upset and you think I'm like this monster that I'm really not, go ahead, think it. I really don't care. I can't change your mind.
Or would want to.
It's like after things like that occurring, it just makes me want to be around you even less. So, it's like I don't care. See your way out before I see my way out.
I remember I got Facebook now for promotional reasons, and it's not really working out too well for promoting shit. There's got to be other ways. But when I first canceled it, Facebook, I remember I took a walk outside. It was decent weather. And I looked up at the clouds and I'm like, hey, life, I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back, life. And I
that's
felt so much better. And then I realized interacting with people in real life and not using that, I realized most people are really good people. Most of them.
that's
The majority of
yeah.
people are really good people.
Like you can get into an argument with someone on Facebook, and then after it's all said and done, like you can just go on about your day, and you go to work, you're around your coworkers, and you realize, man, life's not really that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people are
It's
as
all a
as
mentality. It's a mental thing.
yeah, yeah, and I think social media brings out the worst in motherfuckers.
In people, yeah, I
Like
feel
you,
like
you might be arguing with this person on Facebook or whatever. The two of you meet in real life, don't even fucking realize that you probably get along.
yeah, exactly.
Neither one of you is a bad person.
I feel like
You just you think you believe these certain things, and it's
I
just
feel like what's going on too is that a lot of people my age have this idea that like it's not even a matter of respect anymore because people will argue that well you may have you know said or posted this meme that's supposed to be a joke, but it still goes against my well-being and stuff like that. But at the same time, and I can understand it from a respective standpoint, but I don't even think it's to a point anymore where it's a matter of respect. It's a matter of force and control.
mm-hmm.
It's a matter of like, oh well, I I don't you know I don't agree with this. This goes against like what my life is about. But even though they know like, oh well, he was joking and he didn't mean any harm, but no, I'm going to use it as a control tactic. So I can monitor what you post and or say and don't. It's like we've become like very police oriented online. People want a reason to like be in charge and like
Thought police.
yeah.
Yeah, it's and I had issues on there.
And I think people like that are just like so like insecure with themselves. If you actually truly loved yourself and you had self-respect for yourself and loved yourself, like you wouldn't act that way. You wouldn't be going out of your way to bring somebody down
You
just
wouldn't give
because
it. You wouldn't care.
Yeah, you
Let
wouldn't.
them be
You'd
that. Let
move.
them be them.
You'd move on with your day.
Look, someone could be on Facebook and they could say like, Metallica's Saint Anger is the best Metallica album.
Yeah, and I
You
mean,
know, that'd be pretty offensive to me.
yeah,
You know, I'd let them think
and
that.
that's fine, you know.
That's a good example, though, without saying, I don't know. I don't have many examples of like actual Facebook events other than in the past. In the past, I've had issues with having political beliefs different from certain people that were my friends, and it ends up you just end up being at each other's throat, and
Well, that's just like
that's the majority of why I got rid of it. I'm like, this is some negative bullshit, and it's not healthy for anybody. You know, there's people I'm always saying like, oh, it's okay when you for keeping in contact with your family and shit, and it's like I don't know. That's how it started. I think that's how it started. Social media. That's not what it is now.
That's like I have long hair, and it's like that's become like a very like normal thing. Like tattoos have become a normal thing. But it's like if someone wants to be all like, oh well, you're a guy with long hair. That's gay. You fucking faggot and this and that. It's like, man, I don't care what you
You're
think.
not
I'm
allowed.
gonna
You're
I'm
not
gonna
allowed
do
to
what I
say.
want to do.
You're
You
not
know?
allowed to say faggot on here.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with you.
Oops.
Say whatever you want. No, I get it.
Well, I mean, it's things people used to say. I mean,
Yeah. Well, if you're my age, all it means is wuss. If you say fag and you're my age, it means you're a wuss or you're a douchebag or whatever.
I mean that's what people.
Maybe your generation sees it as like this big thing against gay people, but I don't. It was never used. It was never used
It
that
doesn't
way when
have
I
to
was
be,
younger.
no.
You know, you'd see somebody.
Oh yeah, I've gotten in trouble on Facebook already for using the F word.
Really, did they call? Because they, when I had it, they
Yeah, I got
gave
like
me all these warnings and shit, and I'm like, I didn't even do anything, man.
I didn't even get a warning. I think I got like a 3-day ban or something. Then I just made a new account.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's your thing. You're saying the thought police.
But it's like people used to like call me that shit. Like
sticks and stones. That's what I'm. That's how I see it.
you can't even use things as like an example anymore.
Or a joke.
You're just not even supposed to use it. Yeah, exactly.
Like
And it doesn't make any sense because
half the time you're being fucking sarcastic.
people act like we have to completely erase history. But it's like I get it. Like history is very like tragic, but like erasing history and forgetting about what happened is how history repeats itself. Like with the whole like, oh, let's tear down these monuments and statues of like Confederate soldiers. It's like,
and then forget everything.
Yeah, don't you kind of see that as problematic? It's not like I'm not defending what they did or that it was right. It's like you're erasing
history. You don't want to do it again.
Yeah,
basically is what you're saying.
We're gonna forget it happened, and then it's just gonna be like, oh my god, like it's gonna be your fault because you erased history.
That's how a lot of stuff has happened in the 20th century that was absolutely horrible, and people don't know their history.
I'm
and
thinking
it's like we're actually headed towards repeating some of that shit.
I'm thinking we should have gave like a trigger warning or something before we started this.
Not my viewers.
Yeah. Well, no, that's good. I don't know who on my end's gonna see this because I'll post it on my Facebook whenever you.
Then you'll get banned for 3 days. No, I'm not. Like we're not saying anything. We're actually saying
we're having
exactly the opposite of what is
being portrayed. We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going out and we're killing minorities. That's what they try to paint this as. They try to say, "Oh, well, you're explaining it this way, so that must mean like you hate minorities or something."
Because they're worried about words and not actions.
Exactly.
I know all different types of people. And the thing is, and that's half the reason I started this podcast, is I know all types of people and they all got something to say. And I know all different uh, ethnic backgrounds and shit, and they all have different stuff to say. And
Yeah.
everybody's got their things that they think or that they and they're all different. Every person's different. So this is another thing when you talk about race, you're grouping people into groups instead of talking about individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you are different.
Yeah.
You know,
we're all different.
We're both white males, but we're different motherfuckers completely.
Yeah.
And that's the same with everybody. Everyone's an individual. I hate this talking about people as if they're groups. You know, it's
Yeah.
almost like it's too simple. You know, it is.
Well,
It's like we're all different. We all got first names. Let's leave it at that. How about it?
also too is that nowadays what's very big is that you have to have a brand. You have to be branded in order to like get attention.
A brand.
Yeah, like everything's branded now. Like everything from like the whether it be the like Black Lives Matter or like all the like like don't step on my freedoms, like fuck your masks and vaccines and all that. It's all branded now.
Yeah, it is. It's like
Everything is so
instead of you having your
branded
own
now.
little ideas, you group you everyone. The ideas have you.
Like
The ideas own people. It's not the other way around anymore.
here's my thing is that like if you're really for an idea and you really stand on the laurels of that idea, why the hell do you have to be walking around with a t-shirt of it?
Why not live? Just live the way you want.
Yeah, like
You can't convince other people
why can't you
to
just
believe what you do.
why can't you just believe in something and that's that? Why do we have to like force feed this narrative that like well, you have to be like so secure with your belief that you have to walk around with a t-shirt stating where you stand on a political issue, but people around you that are walking around you just don't really give a fuck. It's like you're trying to
That's the thing that a
force it
lot
on
of people don't understand is nobody cares what you think. Honestly,
That's what I'm saying.
nobody gives a fuck. You know?
I believe people have the right to believe in what they want to believe in, but it's just like nobody cares.
Yeah, they really don't. It's weird you talking about all this stuff because I don't have social media and I don't watch the news and I forget about this shit.
Yeah,
I
well,
forget about
hey,
this shit because I talk to real people
yeah.
and that none of them are a part of it.
Sometimes I'd much rather live your life.
Yeah, I don't, and it's the funny thing is about my job in particular.
You probably live a much more stable, mental, and physically healthy life than I do. In some
I
aspects.
don't know about all that.
In some aspects.
But no, like where I work, there's not any. There is not any more. What am I saying? Is like white people are not the majority at all, and it's like. So I interact. My point is, I interact with all types of people every day, and nobody talks about this shit. Nobody thinks that way. It might be an age thing, or it might just be. I don't know, man. It is weird. You talking about all this stuff. I remember that this stuff has not been a part of my life.
This was
for
honestly
years now.
what we're talking about right now in this part of the podcast is actually a big part of what I was thinking about before I came here. What I wanted to bring up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a social issue. But I didn't want to just make it on completely politics. I made sure we got the music in and everything. You want to focus solely on, like your hobbies, what you love to do. And we're in a time where it's like we really need as many hobbies as we can have if you can actually do them.
Now that I have all these days off, man, I'm racking up ideas and different
That's like
things to do. I'm almost overwhelming myself with all these things like this thing and the the rap shit, man, it's so overwhelming. I have to edit like 400 fucking beats, man, and then I'm like I got writer's block. I spit like 3 raps that kicked ass, and I'm stuck. And I'm like, I can't think of this shit as a job. It's supposed to be a hobby.
Yeah.
And so and my point is, I've got an overload of shit going on.
Yeah.
Overload of shit, hobbies and stuff. And I almost want to get back into just going, I don't know.
I'm starting
It's
to.
good. It's good to have shit like that. So you're not just sitting around your house moping around watching stupid fucking movies and shit.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot more people, really get back into like good, like, everyday activities and like hobbies, like I don't blame people who want to just like, go on a hike, go on a fishing trip and just like forget about, the world and
That's
stay away from
I
social media
really
and shit.
enjoy that. Just going outdoors.
I've really considered doing that myself.
Just going outdoors.
I love
man.
going on walks and shit, I think that's really what more people need to be doing now is going on walks and just
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. It's
yeah.
the natural antidepressant. Well, look, man, it's been awesome. I gotta get ready to
Want to wrap her up?
settle in. Yeah,
Okay.
you working? You going to work?
No, not tonight.
Or you're off
I'm
today?
off tonight. Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, everybody. Fucking.
hope you enjoyed it. Hope nobody got their feathers.
Dude,
in a
I can
bunch.
never remember how to say your last name. I keep wanting to say McCoy. I don't know why.
McEvoy.
McEvoy.
Yeah.
Andrew McEvoy, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys have a good one. It's doing that fucking thing again, man.
Where it does.